It is the year 2020. A man named Ludolf Kronen was a soldier in the Sentinels. He was efficient and even impressed Mason, but his tactics for interrogations were too brutal and uncanny. After a year, he was thrown out of the Sentinels. He then proceeded to create his own mercenary company named TheKrieger'sCurse. There were members such as Zev, Ludolf, Dmitri, and others. Ludolf then gave himself a new appearance to have an iconic but also intimidating anonymity, calling himself Krieger. Zev was close to Krieger. However, Dmitri always found a reason to fight with Krieger. But despite his annoyance, he brushed him off. More and more recruits were coming, and more money was piling up. After 5 years, Krieger wanted to retire and gave the ownership to Zev. Dmitri, however, wanted nothing more but to give Krieger a hard time due to him being cold and merciless. Krieger started to live his normal life, marrying a beautiful woman and starting his own family. He had a little girl named Daisy. Everything was going according to plan to start a new life and leave everything in the past. Dmitri soon enough found out about his new way of life and thought to himself it would be too far to cross him and his new happy family. So he left him alone. However, as he was minding his own business in the city, he went to an alleyway, meeting a man with a black trench coat, fedora, and a red glowing eye. He offered him a deal in finding him the best operative for his team. Dmitri gave him the name Krieger and gave him the address. They both shook hands and gave him a meeting spot to finish the transaction. A few months pass, and Krieger's family are having a dinner at the table, when suddenly there's a knocking on the door. "I'll get it," said Krieger. After he opened the door, he met a soldier wearing all black tactical gear and red combat goggles. He was aiming a shotgun at Krieger's chest.
"You will come with us quietly, Mr. Krieger. Your family will be in safe hands. But if you do not comply, we will use drastic measures to bring you with us,"
a man said with a voice changer in his mask. Krieger, infuriated by this sudden invasion, through adrenaline and past combat experience, he took the shotgun off his hands and shot the soldier's head clean off. The house was nothing but chaos. But then, Krieger was shot with a tranquility gun. Him and his family were kidnapped and put in the van. Dmitri was rewarded for the worthy operative, paid in fortune. Krieger has finally woken up. He was inside a cell with his family. He made sure they were alright, hugging them close. Both were very scared. After Krieger was reassuring them everything is gonna be fine, 3 guards yelled at Krieger to keep his hands up, or his family will be shot. Krieger complied with their demands and followed them. But this was the last time Krieger ever saw his family. He was met with a scientist with a white mask outlined as a skull. He talked to him about how he will be more powerful than ever, but Krieger protested. He said he wanted to live a normal life and stay with his family. The scientist laughed.
But this isn't your way of life. We know how you operate, and this will be your life you are always destined to live.
As soon as Krieger was about to stab the scientist with a nearby scalpel, he was quickly apprehended.
Such a feisty specimen. You will do just fine for the black monolith.
The experiments were long and painful, but after that, Krieger finally woke up. He didn't remember anything but his name and his combat experience. The scientist walked into the room, always cheerful as ever, and said,
Krieger, you're finally awake. First of all, I must congratulate you for being chosen for a spot in the Black Monolith military program. Before you are fully qualified, you must pass few trials. First one, kill Dimitri and everyone in this uncut kill squad company. Got it?
Krieger nodded.
When do I start?
Then, it cuts to him killing everyone in the Lepka faction, one by one. Zev came back with his operatives back to the HQ, witnessing the horrors of gore, dead bodies of his comrades. Zev was stunned after he finally saw Krieger covered in blood. Zev couldn't believe it was him, but after he snapped out of it, he aimed his rifle at him and fired while missing his shots. Krieger grabbed the nearly dead Lepka soldier and used him as a body shield while firing a few rounds into Zev with his USP match. Zev stumbled on the ground, bleeding out. Krieger cocked his gun before he heard in the Russian accent,
Krieger.
He turned around, and there he was.
Dimitri.
Dimitri furiously approached him with his AKM.
You have no idea how long I wanted to get rid of you.
They both started to shoot at each other, trading hits. After they all ran out of bullets eventually, they all pulled out their combat knives and started to clash and stab each other. Before finally, Krieger bested him. He stabbed his throat, slicing it wide open. The blood sprayed into his coat. Krieger looked around to finish his F, but he wasn't there anymore. Knowing he was in a bad shape, he would eventually bleed out. So he left and returned back to the Black Monolith base. Meanwhile, the scientist was waiting, drinking his coffee in his office. He then saw Krieger, fully covered in blood. He smirked before putting his mask back on.
Splendid. By the fact you are covered in blood, I assume the mission is complete.
Krieger was tired and exhausted.
Yes. It is done.
The scientist patted his shoulder.
Good. But your work is not done yet, my friend. Take some sleep to recover. It will be an interesting week, I assure you.
Krieger nodded and went to his quarters to change and sleep. 2 weeks passed, and Krieger is in a meeting with a scientist.
Fascinating. You're more stronger and faster than usual. Good. Now, where were we? Yes. Next trial. You are to kill a woman and a child. Do not ask why. You will do it. Understood?
Krieger slowly nodded, feeling unease and uncertainty.
Good. They're in that room over there.
He pointed to the sign pointing left that says interrogation. He walked inside the room and there was a woman cuffed into a chair. She looked at him and instantly recognized his outfit. Krieger seemed confused. It's like he heard the voice before. He turned to the camera, watching them.
Who are they?
It doesn't matter. I told you, you will execute them without questions.
Krieger looked at his own gun, still processing, and then he aimed at the woman.
No, please.
She cried. She begged Krieger not to shoot her. Krieger's hand started to shake after he was slowly realizing who he is about to shoot.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright. I wonder if this will work.
The scientist walked inside the room and had a device in his hand. He pressed it. Krieger, before he managed to shoot the scientist, he froze in one place. He heard voices. The voices were getting louder and louder. He got on his knees, his whole body shaking. His wife yelled at Krieger to fight it. The scientist helped Krieger up.
Finish the job.
Krieger then quickly aimed his gun at the woman's head and fired without second thoughts. The scientist smiled under the mask and said,
And now, the child.
Krieger approached the child.
Dad, what's going on?
The child was confused as she was blinded with the tape and had headphones on. She then started sobbing, crying in confusion. Krieger once more aimed his weapon, but he then recognized his daughter's voice. He tried to lower the gun.
No. I won't shoot her. I fucking won't.
Do it. Complete the mission.
The voices were screaming louder. His whole body was shaking, trying to fight whatever was controlling his body. Eventually, his whole body was tired, so was his mind. And he shot his own daughter. And the voices went away. Krieger, after he became fully conscious again, he looked at his own daughter, freezing in one place as he dropped his gun.
Lucy. God, no. Shit. This can't be happening.
The scientist left the room satisfied, and the guard stormed inside and apprehended Krieger. This time, there was no resistance. 5 days later, he woke up in his quarters. He tried to remember, but he couldn't. He experimented headaches as he went to the scientist.
Splendid. You completed your second trial. And you now finally tell Nemesis that I've done it.
Krieger was confused and shook his head.
What? But I don't remember.
Don't worry about it. Just make sure to take your daily medication and everything will be dandy. After all, you will be getting a new promotion. Oh, then before I forget, the Mindgate project was outfitted in your head.
He then pressed the button once more. This time, Krieger's voice sounded more monotone and lifeless. Krieger looked up and said,
When do I begin?
We need you to meet Mason, one of the leaders of the Sentinel, and take him down. However you do it, I will leave up to you. Our fraction is still fresh and new, but
with a more experienced operatives like yourself, I'm sure you'll have no problem.